Hello and thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit subscribe and tap the bell to turn on notifications. Today, I would like to talk to you about how to develop leadership skills in young leaders. I have over 24 years experience serving in many junior and senior level leadership positions of increased authority and responsibility. And during that time, I have seen many positive examples of what right looks like, leading others to personal or professional success, and I have also seen many bad examples of failing to lead others anywhere whatsoever. I will share a quick story with you of an example of bad leadership. About 20 years ago, as I was a newly appointed team leader, I was struggling with the situation and I approached my direct supervisor for some help. After explaining my situation and asking for help, he immediately looked at me and stated, "You know what? It's not my job to teach you." Wow! Man, that completely blew my mind. I was immediately blown away at the nerve that this individual had as my direct supervisor to tell me that it was not his job to teach me. At that moment, I lost all respect for him and left his office with a newfound perspective of what bad leadership looked like. Okay, now that we have an example of what bad leadership looks like, let's talk about my top examples of what good leadership looks like and how you can develop those skills in your young leaders. There are really 5 things that I believe that a leader should be. A leader should be a motivator, an enabler, a counselor, an opportunity seeker, and the example for others to follow. All right, so let's take a look at the first thing that a leader should be, which is a motivator. Leadership is the accomplishment of a given task through the efforts of others while providing purpose, motivation, and direction. You know, providing purpose and direction is easy. Providing the motivation to do something, however, now that is something that really can have its challenges. Although a leader cannot prevent his or her team from doing all tasks, it's a lot easier when you task someone to do something that they like, are good at, or they actually want to do, or they are motivated to do. You know, I always had trouble tasking someone to do something that I myself did not want to do or I could not do myself. So, the best way to motivate your young leaders to do something they don't want to do is, number 1, complete the task with them. Nothing is better than getting right there in the dirt with your people and completing a task that nobody wants to do right there with them, showing them and giving them the example that you are not above them or a task. Number 2, you can divide the overall task into smaller tasks among the different people so that one person is not taking on the entire task. Taking on a task can absolutely stress somebody out, especially if they don't want to do the task. So breaking it into those smaller parts and then assigning tasks to people that align better with their strengths and their knowledge and their skills is often better to do. And then finally, point out that although this seems like a bad task at the moment, be aware that there's always things that could be much worse to do than this. Once again, it's a matter of perspective. All right, you could always do something significantly much worse than what you're doing now. Now, the second thing that a leader should be is an enabler. Enabling your young leaders empowers them and encourages them to continue on the path to increased authority and responsibility. By finding opportunities for them to take charge of, they will develop skills such as communication skills, planning, and following up. All right, now through direct mentoring by you as a senior leader, you should always highlight what they did right and what needs improvement through counseling. Now, not just any counseling. I like to think of it as developmental counseling. You are going to develop your young leaders into better leaders. All right, so once again, this brings me to my third point. A leader is a counselor. Now, with developmental counseling, you can shape a young leader by capturing accomplishments, opportunities, things needing improvement, and upcoming events. Developmental counseling should be one-on-one, a two-way conversation, and end with an agreed-upon plan of action with a deadline to complete the plan of action. The one thing to remember is that counseling is not negative. Although there is a misunderstanding out there that counseling should be, it is negative. Okay? there's a stigma about that because a lot of bad leaders highlighted or focused on the negative, thinking that that was developing their junior leaders. In fact, it wasn't developing them, it was destroying them. Okay, so counseling should be developmental and inspires the young leader to continue on a positive path toward success by highlighting, once again, accomplishments, opportunities, things needing improvement. However, that should be constructive instead of destructive, and upcoming events. If you focus on those items right there, I guarantee that you will develop your junior leader towards the leader that you want them to be and the leader that they want to be as well too. Okay? Now the fourth thing a leader should be is an opportunity seeker. Now I don't mean some yes man. Okay? Believe me, there are plenty of yes people that are out there that say, yes, I have to do this. Yes, I have to do that. Yes, we're going to do that. Oh, and by the way, yes, we are going to get some of that. Okay? I'm sure we all know those so-called leaders out there that have no filter and do not know how to say no to anything and always volunteering their team to do everything, once again causing animosity, overwhelm, and ultimately burnout among the team. You know, you don't have to volunteer for everything, but if an opportunity presents itself for the team to learn, develop, grow, and be successful, then by all means, take that opportunity. All right? So, finally, a leader should be the example for others to follow. As I stated earlier, I've had many good and many bad examples of leadership. I always put in my toolkit the good things that I learned by emulating the good examples of leadership from my perspective. The number one thing that I can tell you is to be a good leader is that be a leader that you would want to follow. Okay? But that doesn't always mean doing what is popular. You know, there is a difference between leadership and likership. Okay, you want people to follow you because you are a leader. You don't want them to follow because they like you. That's likership. All right, you don't have to be their friend, but being friendly should not be mistaken as a weakness. All right, because I guarantee you when it comes down to telling them to do something, as a friend, you're going to have a hard time telling them to do something. Okay, you're going to have a hard time. All right. And then the thing is that you want to model the example that you want your young leaders to become by being, knowing, and more importantly, doing what is right in accordance with policy and procedures. Okay, so that wraps it up for this video. I want to thank you for watching, and please, if you have not done so yet, hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on notifications so you will be notified every time that I post a new video. I would also like to encourage you to visit my website, terrythompson.me, to find more tips, tools, techniques, and resources that will lead you to personal and professional success. Thank you for the opportunity to be your virtual mentor, and I will see you in the next video.